Question 2 is a question on general equilibrium theory. It's an exchange economy with two agents and two goods, X and Y. Here X has been represented on, this is an Edgeworth box which you can use to represent such economies, and here X, the good X has been represented along this axis and the good Y along the horizontal axis. Now the idea is that the question says, for example, that if it rains, agent 1 starts with an endowment of 10-0, whereas agent 2 starts with all of good Y, whereas if it shines, it's the other way around. So 10-0 and 0-10 correspond to these two corners of the Edgeworth box. And now, so there are a few concepts. This is a very conceptual question, despite the mathematical details that have been given. The idea here is that you need to know certain concepts about general equilibrium theory. For example, what is a Pareto efficient allocation? A Pareto efficient allocation is one from which given a Pareto efficient allocation, you cannot make either player better off by changing the allocation without making the other person worse off. Now, in a given situation, what allocations are Pareto efficient depends entirely upon what the preferences of the agents are. And generally, in most cases, this would simply be a line, straight or otherwise, leading from the bottom left corner to the top right corner. Whether this line is straight or not, whether it's continuous or not, depends entirely upon the nature of the utility functions of the two agents, and has nothing to do whatsoever with the starting points or the initial endowments. The initial endowments, as I mentioned, are in this particular case at the other two corners of the Edgeworth box. And so, for example, if player 1 starts with 10-0 and player 2 starts with 0-10, which is what happens when it rains, player 1 might have an initial reservation utility of U10R represented by this particular curve, and player 2 might have U20R represented by this curve. Similarly, if it shines, you have U10S because player 1 starts here, and U20S because player 2 starts here. Now the idea is that the idea of a core is essentially that part of the line that gives you the Pareto efficient. It's that part of the Pareto efficient set of allocations that lies between these two reservation utility curves. So to conclude, the idea is simply that what the set of Pareto efficient allocations is has absolutely nothing to do with where you start, and since that alone is what is being determined by the weather, it has nothing whatsoever to do with the weather.